DA. I saw how much Tom Cruise made each of the last several years, and I noticed something. His income, while high, goes up and down. Sometimes he might make $20 million, and the next year it might be $15 million. As far as stats go, he is sometimes down stat. While this can be brushed off by Scientology since he's a celebrity and the rules don't apply, if he is a serious Scientologist, how might he explain the fact that he is sometimes down stat? Shouldn't he be earning more and more money each year in order to be ethical? Well, strictly speaking, yes, he should. The correct application of Scientology's ethics conditions and the formulas that those contain, which are the step-by-step guide you're supposed to take in order to be in a better and better condition, no matter what you're applying it to, those conditions should give him the answers or guides that he needs in order to have an ever-increasing income. And Tom Cruise has got a potential of making a tremendous amount of money in the movie industry. So, it's not like he's reached the limit of bricks he can lay, sort of thing. Now, I actually don't know about his personal income. Maybe you're probably looking at his movie intake from gross income from his movies, but he has other things he does that produce income for him. He's got a production company and those kind of things. I'm not saying I have some inside line. I just know that he's got these things and investments and that sort of thing. So his personal income might actually be going up, 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 even if the amount of money that is being made on films he's in is not going up, up, up. So I will say, I do want to put that little thing out there, a little caveat. But to speak to the more general question here, Scientologists are expected to be in a continuously expanding state of it, or condition. And the ethics conditions, as I said, are supposed to get you there. So if you're not constantly improving and expanding in some fashion or another, then there is something wrong. And Tom Cruise would not be getting a pass on that by the church, by the way. Even though he's a celebrity, he is expected, in fact, probably more so than many other Scientologists, is expected to hold a standard and is expected to be an example to the world at large, more so than anybody else. So I'm sure he feels, some degree of pressure and puts a lot of pressure on himself because of that, because he is a true believer, as far as I can tell. The thing about the whole philosophy of this expansion sort of thing that Hubbard put out is it really is a very self-defeating thing. I mean, you really can only go so far with that sort of thing before you really start coming down on yourself way too hard for not, living up to these expectations and these standards. And after a while, just to speak from my own experience about it as a Scientology and Sea Org staff member, I actually realized, and I think most people in Scientology who work for the organization at least, come to realize that it's just sort of this cyclic sort of game, really. This business of infinite expansion and continuing to go up, up, up. You twig after a while that this is just, you start paying it more lip service than you are really believing it. Because I started to have to interpret the orders that were coming down the lines and the quotas that were coming down the line, and the demands constantly for more and more and more. I started having to interpret that or rationalize that as, well, they have to put that much pressure on us because otherwise we would slack off or something, or we would not be producing to our full potential. That kind of thinking, even though I knew that the quotas we were receiving and the demands we were receiving were completely unrealistic, and no one could produce, in the crunched time frame that we were demanded to produce some of these things, like $1 million in a week, right? These kinds of insane kinds of quotas for IAS donations, for example. It really took miraculous work to push it, to keep pushing the income up, or the production of whatever it was we were producing. Anyway, bottom line on this is that Scientologists temper this kind of thinking with reality. I mean, reality does enter into the bubble world, is really what I'm trying to say. And Scientologists will rationalize this sort of thing, and I certainly did as a Scientologist and a Sea Org member. You're going to go up, the stats are going to go up, and the stats are going to go down, and the stats can go back up, and the stats can go down, and so you start watching these things on a trend. Are you generally doing better than worse, right? That kind of thing. So I don't know what else to really say about that, except that. I'm pretty sure Tom Cruise pushes himself pretty hard, and I think that's also one reason why there's so many Mission Impossible movies, is because he keeps going back to his successful action of Mission Impossible, because that's been the franchise that I think has gained him more income and influence or traction in the big wide world internationally than anything else, than any other properties that he's done. So that's what I can. Some thoughts about that.